Makes sense either. Hikers say they heard Barbara screaming for help hours after Hopkins said she died.
Hellman never met a motion he didn't like.
He was able to exclude or minimize a lot of testimony and evidence.
Here's one signed by Kelly. Remember the day she told me she was going to work for Hellman?
I hope you warned her.
I did. Kelly was a true believer. We used to fight about it like cats and dogs. She couldn't understand how I could be a prosecutor. I couldn't understand how she could defend people she knew were guilty. This is interesting.
What is it?
Marinelli's witness list. Do you remember seeing the name Nick Baxter anywhere in the police files?
No. It wasn't in the trial transcripts either.
Which means Marinelli never called Baxter to testify, right?
Exactly.
Why would Marinelli rush to add Baxter to the witness list so late in the trial? At the last minute, I mean, why go to all that trouble and then not call him?
I don't know. It's not that unusual. Someone tips you on a Hail Mary witness, you look into it, it doesn't check out, you drop it.
But still, look at this. He adds Baxter to his witness list here on the 20th, notifies Hellman he intends to call him at the very last minute, and then doesn't for some reason.
Ask him.
Peters was angry about the verdict. Understandably, so was I. I don't see how my trial strategy is relevant.
Well, just the same. I asked Maureen and Annabeth to review the case files.
You find anything useful?
Who was Nick Baxter? He's on your amended witness list, but you never called him.
He didn't pan out.
Did you question him? His deposition isn't in your files either.
I didn't depose him. My investigator interviewed him.
No record of that either.
Is there something behind this witness we should know about, John?
No. There's nothing. Baxter was a bartender. He served Hopkins some drinks one night and allegedly heard him rambling on about killing his wife. So we did a little digging and determined he wasn't credible.
Why not?
His story didn't really add up, for one thing. He'd perjured himself in a child custody case. Hellman would have ripped him apart.
Did you mention Baxter to the Peters?
Not specifically, no. Say what you're trying to say, Annabeth.
You assured them David Hopkins would be convicted, right?
I told them we had a very strong case, and I had no reason to believe we wouldn't get a conviction.
You never mentioned Baxter to them, the last-minute witness that would seal the deal.
No, I did not.
Well, Turley's going to claim that you unrealistically built up the Peters' hopes and made David Hopkins' acquittal even more devastating than it had to be.
There's a lot of things I wish I had done differently. But for you to suggest that I didn't do everything I could to win that case is just plain wrong.
I'm not suggesting that, John.
I should have won it, but I didn't.
Why didn't you? What went wrong?
Nothing went wrong. Doug Hellman did a better job telling his story to the jury than I did mine. That's what it boils down to, doesn't it? Who's got the better story? And if Bob Peters wants to put his killing Kelly on me because of that, well, I can't believe we're having this conversation. Anything else I can help you with? You let me know.
John, this isn't personal.
Yes, Annabeth, it is. It couldn't be more personal.
I'd still like to know more about Baxter.
Let's have Ed and Ray talk to his investigator. Something's not sitting right with this.
No, I didn't find Nick Baxter. As far as I know, Marinelli found him.
No, but we were told.
Oh, you were told wrong. Yeah, Marinelli sent me to see him.
How did he find Baxter?
No idea. We had 4 investigators working on the case. Baxter's name never came up until Marinelli gave it to us.
But you interviewed Baxter, right?
Yeah, it should be in the case file.
What was it? You remember the gist of it?
Yeah, Baxter was serving him pina coladas one night. Hopkins got drunk. Confessed to how he killed his wife on a camping trip, pushed her off a ledge, made it look like an accident.
And Baxter would have testified to this.
Yeah, if Marinelli would have called him, but he never did.
Marinelli said that you determined Baxter was not credible.
Oh, that's a load. No, Baxter's story was good, it rang true.
He perjured himself in a custody trial, though.
Look, my 2 cents, Baxter would have been a powerful witness against Hopkins. But hey, what do I know? Marinelli's the one with the fancy suit, salary. His trial, his call.
You got any idea how Marinelli found Baxter in the first place?
No, that's a good question. Baxter told me I wasn't the only guy coming around asking about David Hopkins.
Somebody else got there first?
The name escapes me, but he was a private investigator.
Working for?
Hopkins' lawyer, Doug Hellman.
Vance didn't find Baxter. You did. Tell me how.
Why do you care so much about Baxter? He's a witness I never called in a case that's over, against a defendant that can't be retried.
Just tell me how you found Baxter.
I loved her. Kelly.
We all did.
No, that's not what... Kelly and I were... We were seeing each other.
She never told me that.
Nobody knew. We started dating during the trial.
Why didn't you recuse yourselves?
By the time we realized where things were going, it would have led to a mistrial. Neither of us wanted that. We had a rule. We never discussed the case, or even work for that matter. We figured we could keep it a secret from Hellman, but turned out he knew.
Did Kelly tell you about Baxter?
Kelly would have never done that. She was incredibly ethical. We never discussed the Hopkins case. Ever.
Then how did you find out?
One night, she was staying in my apartment. She left her briefcase open with the file on Baxter right on top. Like she wanted me to see it.
Even so, John, why did you look at it? Why would you jeopardize your case?
The Peters were calling me every day. Coming into the office, waiting for me after court, desperate for good news. And to be honest, the trial had started to turn. I could feel the jury having doubts about my case. It was so stupid, but once I knew that Hopkins had confessed to Baxter about killing his wife, I had to put him on the stand.
But you didn't.
No.
Hellman?
Saw Baxter on my witness list and confronted me. He said he knew Kelly and I were involved and accused me of betraying Kelly to discover Baxter.
Let me guess, Hellman came up with a solution.
What were we gonna do? Either I could drop it and pretend like I never found Baxter, or Hellman would expose us to the judge. Either way, Baxter would never testify.
John, if Hellman wasn't willing to go to the judge, you should have.
Yeah. I should have. I know that now. But I didn't.